Imagine a day when every dreaded task and thing you had been avoiding crashed into that one small square on your calendar. It seems to happen to us all, despite our best efforts at procrastination and avoidance, and I'm a pro at procrastination, by the way. But yet, here on my calendar, I had a long laundry list of dreaded things to do. So once upon a time, this to-do list crashed in on my head. And it included, but was not limited to, a root canal, having my car serviced, taking an incontinent friend for a ride in my brand new car, meeting with the IRS, an attorney, a banker, my tax accountant in one day. That was a really crummy day. And some of these people are actually annoying. Some of my best friends are lawyers and accountants, but this was a really tricky, overwhelming, bad day. So as I steeled my soul for this terrible day, I could barely get dressed. As I trudged through my morning routine and steeled my soul for what was to come, I took a deep breath and a big sigh and threw up a big prayer. And in a random act, perhaps of desperation and a little bit of whimsy, I reached across my dresser to a bouquet, and I grabbed a great big bloom and I plucked it right on my chest, just like the one that I have today. I thought, if I'm going down in flames, I'm going to look good on the trip. And so I went into that day with this flower, this bad day in a fog of overwhelm. And it was amazing that in that golden moment, my life's work, which is to always align myself with beauty, was manifest just in that random, not premeditated act. I feel the ripple effects to this day. And it was amazing. As I wore that flower into the day to meet with treacherous people and tasks that I dreaded, a beautiful thing happened. Obnoxious people were kind. People who I never saw smile smiled profusely. Complete strangers even smiled at me, held the door open for me. It was a beautiful thing. Perhaps they were just glad to see someone not wearing dirty slippers and pajama pants in public, so the flower was just an added bonus. But there was a shift that happened that day, some sort of magic when I pinned that lapel with a flower. There was a shift in thinking from foreboding to fabulous with a flower. Did this flower truly have power? And how could I leverage that? So again, when I had a day that was filled with really rotten, crummy things that we all have to do in life, I grabbed a flower and I did it again. And you know what? The same thing happened. Now, this is a great bit of information for me personally. It's a fabulous thing to know. But what about you guys? What about my community? What about the people that I do life with? Is there a way to share what happened with me with everybody else? Could I give them an alternative version to their day by sharing it on a grand scale? Could I make the foreboding fabulous? Could I make the mundane marvelous? Is there a way to do that with everybody around me? And what would that look like to infuse environment with the power of flowers? So I begin to think about it. I have a lot of wild hairs and a lot of ideas under this head. So I begin to study guerrilla art, which has nothing to do with gorillas, but it does have to do with anonymous beauty in public places that's not for commercial gain at all, just beauty for the sake of beauty. So what if I did that with fresh flowers? What would that look like if I did that in my very own stomping ground? It was a great experiment, and I took 22 dozen roses to a vacant lot right in our community, and we turned it into a playground of possibility. It was incredible. With commando-like strategy, we jumped out and installed all this, and then we hid in the shadows to watch people respond. They didn't know what to think, and I overheard all kinds of wonderful conversations. Gosh, I guess anything's possible. Somebody said that because we put 22 dozen roses in cardboard boxes in a vacant lot. It caused people to say, I guess anything's possible. That's a very exciting, gratifying thing to hear. So we hid further to see what else would happen. Who did this? There were all kinds of conversations, and we just eavesdropped because nobody knew it was us. That's the whole point of guerrilla art, to remain anonymous. So we hid and we watched. We watched children hold hands with their moms. We watched men reach down to give a flower to their wife, and we would see the wife smile, and you could tell she was thinking, I don't know when the last time was that this happened. Just flowers for the sake of flowers. Now, scientific studies have shown, university studies even, that 80% of Americans love to receive flowers. 88% of them love to give them. And I can say that it's true what they say, it is more blessed to give and to receive, especially when you hide out and watch these responses. So not only did we watch in real time what was happening, we kind of creeped on everybody's social media profile, checked out what they were saying. Who did this? They said, was it the Driftwood Ninja? So that was kind of fun. My favorite was, well, I bet you it was a Moonie who couldn't sell the quota. So they dumped them all in the parking lot. But other people said, what a revival. Beauty does revive us all, and it revived a community that day, and we got to watch it not only in real life, but on social media. It was very, very exciting. Everyone was all abuzz, and just to observe it was so much fun for us. People say, stop and smell the roses, and indeed, on that day, they did. It was a beautiful thing. And I have to tell you guys that even pets got into the act, and they were very well behaved. Not a single puppy peed on any of my flowers. They were all quite lovely. Mothers and daughters were my favorite to watch, and just to see their faces light up and to see them reconnect and look each other in the eye, it was a beautiful thing. I have to tell you guys that when we went back the next day to check on our little experiment, that not a box or a petal or a bouquet remained. It had all disappeared. The magic had disappeared, or had it? I like to think that it had simply migrated into real lives of real people and a real community that needed a revival. It was amazing. So, what now? What on the other side of this? Can flowers really change the world? Perhaps we should ask her. I think she might say yes. Can flowers really change the world? Well, you know, that's a pretty tall order. And it's a pretty big world. But I'd like to say that yes, they can. There is nothing that we do that can't be made better by adding a flower to our community, to our neighborhood, to even an enemy, to a stranger, or even a friend. Thank you.